Welcome inside the Sports Building this week, a show that made a joke about Florida State not having won any games hours before they won their first game of the season. And in unrelated news, welcome to Sports Building, a show that currently has as many wins as the Cincinnati Bengals.
Live from a city in Southern California, you're in the Sports Building with Daniel West.
Here we are again. It's another week inside the Sports Building. There's a lot to get to inside the Sports Building this week. I'm just looking at the papers right now here. Juicy show. We have drama. We have intrigue. We have winners of the week. We have snubs. We have the bowl sitting right here next to me, the glorious, hallowed Sports Bowl. I believe that's what we're calling it now. Is it the Sports Bowl? Officially the name, the Sports Bowl? John, someone over there?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that's the name of it. It is the
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. I get it. The Sports Bowl's over there. That seems a little excessive. It's not a religious item. It's just a bowl. I hope it's not. I don't. No, that's a little weird. Okay, anyway, Sports Bowl is here. The glorious, hallowed Sports Bowl is here. That was figurative. It's a bowl that brings us the winners of the week. That's coming up. But you know what's coming up first? Something we like to call the Sports Building Sports Flash. Oh, yeah. He's on it this week. The Sports Building Sports Flash is our news update brought to you this week by water. The battle to stay hydrated is a constant daily fight. You need the best possible resources, and the best possible resource to stay hydrated is water. You can find water at grocery stores, outlets, malls, shopping centers, fountains. But if you find it in an outdoor fountain, probably don't drink that. Or if you find it at the ocean, don't drink that either. But most other places you find water, you can drink it. Occasionally, I've even been told, not in this area, but it falls from the sky. And if that happens, you can drink it there as well.
What?
Yeah, or you can just pick it up at your grocery store, fill your bottle with it. My bottle's over there. I can't get to it. But water, proud sponsor of the Sports Building Sports Flash and official liquid of the Sports Building Sports Flash. Michael Andretti, the owner, CEO, head person at Andretti Global, is leaving Andretti Global and will no longer be there. That's exactly what it says here in my script. You can, if you're laughing at me, Dave, that's what it says.
Oh, wow, I did write that.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael Andretti, trying to get into F1. Motorsports owner has announced he is leaving Andretti Autosport. The team will now be called TBD Motorsports until a new owner is found. UNLV football player quarterback Matthew Sluka has left the team in controversial circumstances after saying he was promised a $100,000 NIL payment that was never received. That's right.
What?
There we go. I'm also being told this is not the first time that someone has been involved in controversy in Las Vegas for payment around $100,000 for their services that was not paid. The Utah Hockey Club got their first ever win as an expansion. No, we're not. No. I see him back there. I'm not getting involved with. No. What do you want, ladies and gentlemen? The Vegas Golden Hat is here. He is still. Yeah, I know. He's still drunk from winning the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. He doesn't show up to work. He used to actually do things around here on this show. He used to be a very functional member of society. This is what drink has turned him into. He just hangs on the wall. Yeah, I know. Great. Okay, they were the Phoenix Coyotes. Now they're the... Enough with the trash talk. No one can understand you, first of all. And second of all, you can't be saying those words on this show. Okay? Take him out. Someone please take him out. Is he going to... Listen, I'll leave you back there if you can be quiet. This is embarrassing. You shouldn't act like... Listen, can you be quiet? Then just stay back there. Just hang on the wall back there. And just stay out of it here. Don't insult the Dodgers hat. Excuse me for a moment. Here, just go, please. I'm sorry I had to do that. I know that's violent. I know I'm going to get called into HR, but I can't do it. How is he still talking? Take him out, Dave, please. Where was I? Excuse me. I'm sorry. He hasn't been the same since they won. He's drunk. He's unruly. The Utah Hockey Club got their first win in overtime, a win over the Los Angeles Kings in their first exhibition game ever at the Delta Center as an expansion team now that the Arizona Coyotes no longer exist. While the Utah Hockey Club found their first win, they still have yet to find a name. And lastly, in a surprising story developing in Major League Baseball, excuse me for a moment, this is the News Snail, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe that the News Snail has some breaking news here.
We have a trade to announce.
Wow. Can I go with this? Are you breaking this? Okay. This is exclusive to you. Now that Woj has left, you are the official news breaker. Okay. And finally, we have a trade we would like to report.
We have a trade to announce.
Karl Anthony Towns has been traded to the New York Knicks in exchange for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, who will go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. How about that? Wow, that's wild. All right. What? Yeah. We will have more details on this as more emerges, but that is breaking from the news snail. First ones to report it. You heard it here first. Dante DiVincenzo, the big piece in this deal, going to the Minnesota Timberwolves, where he'll be paired alongside Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert.
Talk about shocking.
That is pretty shocking, and that is the Sports Building Sports Flash for this week. Tune in next week at the same time for another Sports Building Sports Flash. This one, as always, brought to you by water. It is a daily fight to stay hydrated in these streets. That's why you need water, proud liquid of Sports Building. All right. That's stunning. Can we talk about that trade for a minute? That is truly shocking. I did not see that coming. Dante DiVincenzo. The Wolves went to the Western Conference Finals last year. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks when they had home court advantage. And they said, we need another shooter. And for them to go out and fleece the Knicks for Dante DiVincenzo, that right there is what I can't even speak. That is what wins you championships. Dante DiVincenzo, already a champion and a key member of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now he goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's just going to tour the Midwest, bringing them titles. Can you the front court, the back court that you now have, forget the front court, Julius Randle. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work, but the back court you now have with Dante DiVincenzo, maybe put him at the 3. So then you have Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, and Dante at the 3. Who's beating that in the West? Seriously, who's beating that in the West? I don't think anyone's beating that. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are coming out of the Western Conference and going to the finals this year. This is a remarkable trade. I don't know what the Knicks are thinking. I don't know why you give him up. You break up the Villanova Knicks. You give away your second best player. This is madness. Anyway. Wow. That's going to be hard to. No, that was a real take. No, don't play the imaging. That wasn't.
And now,
no.
It's time for a take that's going to make you say, that's wild, Wes.
No, I believed in that take. That was not hyperbole. Dante DiVincenzo was the second best Knick. Josh Hart. Now Josh Hart's got to step up. Anyway, but also, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, not a bad piece going the other way, but I mean, Dante is the key piece in that trade. That's spectacular. All right, this is normally the part in the show I give you a wild take, but again, that take was sincere this week. So let's, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something I've never done before on this show. I'm going to invite the mailbox. That's right. Instead of him showing up to bring us some, WNBA rantings and ravings of fans hating on whoever they don't like, I'm actually going to bring the mailbox into the show for once. Because is the mailbox ready? Is he here? He's ready? Okay. Because I have some letters from fans of the show who wrote in at informalprogram@gmail.com, which is odd because we changed the name of the show to SportsBuilding, but still informalprogram@gmail.com is our email address. That's weird. But anyway, or sportsbuilding.com, thesportsbuilding.com. Anyway, they wrote in, so give me those letters, please.
We have a
letter
to announce.
Wow, a lot of letters this week. All right, let's organize these letters here. All right, first one, Jared writes in, how does Dallas win Thursday after having that many flags against them? It's a good question, Jared. I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch a lick of Thursday Night Football because I don't have Amazon. So. What? But here's what I'm going to say. The NFL doesn't like to make it too obvious that everything is, not real and fixed. So I think what happened here was they decided if we make it so obvious that the Cowboys get all the calls, people are going to catch on. So they said, let's throw a lot of penalties against the Cowboys so that when they win, everyone will be like, wow, they overcame. That's my theory with that one. Do we have another letter? This is where the mailbox, who has a voice of his own, John, speaks.
have another
letter
to announce.
Fender Bender writes in and just says Shohei Ohtani, spelled incorrectly. I didn't know how you could spell Shohei Ohtani wrong, but he did it here. Yes, Shohei Ohtani. Can we talk for a minute about the scandal that happened last week on the show here, where somehow Shohei Ohtani's greatest baseball game of all time was eclipsed by the Atlanta Falcons? That was shocking. I don't know what happened there, but we did research. What? And everything was above board. So apparently the committee, the bowl, whoever just said that Shohei Ohtani's greatest baseball game of all time was not as good as Kirk Cousins leading the Falcons down the field to beat the Eagles. So just to follow up on that, we have checked into what we thought was scandalous behavior that involved bribery, much like, Olympic bids, like that level of corruption. We thought that's what was happening here, but in turns out there wasn't. So I guess the bowl just thought that the Falcons were better.
We have another
letter
to announce.
Wyatt writes in and says the whole NIL system sucks. Wyatt, you're probably right, but what's the alternative? I'll tell you what the alternative is. It's the players just getting paid to run around, and then the NCAA is like, hey, you paid the players, and then there's scandals involved, and then they kill programs, and Reggie Bush gets his Heisman taken away, and then we all discover maybe these athletes who are being plastered on billboards, being paraded on television every week, should maybe get a cut of the revenue. How do we do that? And then the NCAA said, I don't know. Don't look at us. We're not the governing body. And then the boosters said, well, why don't we just pay the athletes? And they said, that's a great idea. And then we had NIL, which sucks. But you know what? At least it beats the alternative, which is why I just explained. So there you go. All right, it's time now for the winners of the week. John Beanie, hit the imaging.
It's time for the best countdown in sports radio. From 10 to 1, here are the informal program's winners! Winners! Winners!
For those of you watching on YouTube, you just saw the bowl of winners, the Winners Bowl, paraded and landed in its safe place right here. But before we get to that, we got to get to the snubs very quickly. Let's see who did not make the winners of the week. All the WNBA teams who advanced in the playoffs. Michigan's run game. All the other MLB teams who clinched. The Detroit Tigers specifically. The Steelers for the past 3 weeks. Neutrals and conspiracy theorists watching Virginia Tech versus Miami. And that guy who got Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 home run ball. Those are the snubs. Let's see who's really in the bowl. We do not have time for 10 because we never do. John Beanie, straight to number 6.
At number 6.
Coming in at number 6, only Kyle Larson. That's right, because in NASCAR's race at Bristol Motor Speedway last week, Kyle Larson led more than 430 of a 500-lap race. Yes, you heard that correctly. What? Kyle Larson, in a 500-lap race, led more than 430 laps. Now, if you were playing the White Sox, we would just call that a random Saturday. But since he was against the best racers in NASCAR, it was quite a surprise. Can we finish that? You cut off your own soundbite there, John. I didn't think it was that good a joke, but, it was I guess, was funny. It wasn't that funny. We don't need it 5 times.
Here's number 5.
Coming in at number 5, the White Sox. Now, yes, you may be asking, didn't the White Sox? What? Yes, that's right. You may be asking, didn't the White Sox set the record for, the worst season loss-wise in Major League Baseball history?
Yes.
That's right. But you know who didn't let them set that record? The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who rolled over like dogs and proceeded to get swept, which allowed the White Sox to have the attention taken off them for being horrible and put it on the Angels. And I'm not happy about the Angels. John, hit the imaging.
And now, it's time for a take that's going to make you say, that's Wild West.
I don't care what the standings show. The Angels are the worst team in baseball. It's not the White Sox. You know who's made the playoffs in the last decade? The White Sox. You know who hasn't? The Angels. You know who didn't waste the primes of Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on a yearly basis? The White Sox. You know who did? The Angels. You know who didn't pay money all over the place to stars who never show up to play? The White Sox. You know who did? The Angels. You know who's going to beat the record next year that the White Sox currently hold? The Angels. I'm done with them. If they move to Montreal, I'm not sure I'd feel anything because they are that bad, and I'm tired of it.
And now, it's time for a take that's going to make you say, That's Wild West.
I'm fine.
Here's number 5.
We did that one already. That was the White Sox.
At number 4,
Coming at number 4, Josh Heupel. I feel like the light's getting dimmer. Is that true, John? Do we not charge the battery for the lights in the studio?
Yes.
Yeah, the lights are getting dimmer. I'm looking right now at the ring light that's on the camera here, breaking the fourth wall, and it's getting very dim. And now Dave said in my ear, I'm only being lit from the outside by this beautiful window right here, and I look like Moses in the Ten Commandments movie, which is a reference I'm sure our young audience will understand.
Listen, man, it's a classic.
The Charlton Heston Ten Commandments? Who in our audience is gonna get that reference?
Listen, man, who else had a glowing face that you know of?
That glowworm guy.
Oh yeah, he's right. He was creepy.
All right, can we please get to number 4? Coming in at number the glowworm guy. You mean I remember him? Yeah.
at number
The
4,
glowworm. The glowworm guy. Yes. All right. Yes. Coming in at number 4, Josh Heupel, former offensive coordinator of the Oklahoma Sooners until he was fired and removed rather, shamefully in disgrace by Bob Stoops. He came back to Oklahoma now as the coach of Tennessee and said, "Don't you wish you still had me lying around here?" As Tennessee proceeded to dismantle Oklahoma, who I'm sure will have a wonderful time getting slaughtered by all the SEC teams. Hey, Vanderbilt, move over. You have company.
and now your top 3.
Coming in at number 3, Jaden Daniels' accuracy. Jaden Daniels pitched almost a perfect game, 21 of 23 on Monday Night Football as the Washington Commanders, yes, the Washington Commanders, were able to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, sending that franchise into a spiral as they realized that, I don't know, maybe they're not going to go 0-3 and then make the playoffs like they did last year. What's happening? And Washington has a competent quarterback? What year is this? What's happening in the world?
What?
This is stunning.
What?
Yeah, this is shocking. This is a shocking development. This is shocking.
Talk about shocking.
Speaking of shocking, let's get to number 2.
This is number 2.
Coming in at number 2, Oakland. One last time. That's right. The Oakland A's are going to be no more at the end of the year because, well, ownership kind of messed that up. I guess if you're an Angels fan, there is a worse owner in Major League Baseball.
What a shame.
So now they're moving to Sacramento before they move to Las Vegas, if they move to Las Vegas, because those plans aren't finalized. So yes, you heard that correctly. They're leaving Oakland to go to a minor league baseball stadium in Sacramento before moving to Las Vegas, although the Vegas move hasn't been finalized. So they're really just moving to Sacramento and hoping that things get straightened out in Vegas. And if they don't get straightened out in Vegas, do they stay in Sacramento? Do they go back to Oakland? Do they end up in Portland? Do they go to Montreal? Who knows? But I have a take on this.
And now, it's time for a take that's going to make you say, "That's Wild West."
I'm tired of hearing from all these fan bases who have had teams relocate about what a travesty this is. If you live in a city that had a team relocate to your city and that's how you got a team, you should shut up about this. Just don't have an opinion on it, okay? You are benefiting off the very thing that you hate. Yes, it's the franchise system in U.S. sports. Yes, I understand that you're outraged by it, but don't have an opinion on it. Just be quiet, okay? With that being said, it's completely ridiculous that the Oakland A's moved. They should stay in their home city, just like perhaps the Cleveland Rams should have stayed in Cleveland instead of moving to Los Angeles, or the St. Louis Rams stayed in St. Louis instead of, or the Dodgers stayed in Brooklyn as opposed to. Kind of walked into that one, didn't I?
And now, it's time for a take that's going to make you say, "That's Wild West."
Anyway, so number 2 this week, winners of the week, the Oakland A's, who are moving, but they had one last win against the Texas Rangers, sort of replicating 2014 when they made the playoffs and you knocked out was it 2013, 2014? It was 2013? When did Moneyball come out? 2013. I'm glad I have a staff that's really on it and knows when I'm asking questions they can research.
It was 2013.
Thank you. Anyway, it was 2013. Excuse me. It's very emotional. I got choked up about it. Anyway, so they're moving to Sacramento last year, as you mentioned, but they had one last win in Oakland. It was a beautiful moment. Fans rushed onto the field. They threw things onto the field because they were upset. People tried to take chairs out of the stadium. But it was a great moment. Celebration played, and maybe down the road we'll see more Oakland A's baseball. But it's not the winner of the week. The bowl is here with number 1. Hit me.
Here's number 1.
There can only be one winner of the week, joining the likes of Zach Edey, the Pac-12's map, the Big Ten's map commercial, and last week, controversially, the Atlanta Falcons. Coming in at number 1, the winner of the week, who else could it be? The 1962 New York Mets.
Congratulations.
After nearly 60 plus, actually more than 60 years of infamy, you are now off the hook. The Chicago White Sox now have the record for the most losses in a Major League Baseball season, which means all of you, much like the 72 Dolphins, can pop champagne and celebrate whenever there's a team that is no longer undefeated. You 62 Mets can now rest easy. You are no longer the worst team in baseball history. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
This week's show was loosely produced by Dave Rogers, audio engineering by John Beanie, the new Snail with the research, the Vegas Golden Hat with the drunkenness and general nuisance-ness. I have been the host. You have been the audience. Thanks so much for tuning in and being in the sports building. Catch you next week. Bye.
This is the Informal Post Show.
It was 2013. 2013.
What a fall from grace, man. It's sad. It really is a shame they're moving.
Yeah. Who's next?
The Rays.
Aren't the Rays getting a new stadium?
Yeah, but they're not going to get attendance there, and then they'll leave in 15 years.
Whoa.